2020 has started off with quite a few disasters around the globe. We can't avoid them, but we can manage how we react when they befall us. Coming up, we'll have some tips for you after the break. And globally, January started off a bit disastrous. You have the fires in Australia, earthquakes in Puerto Rico, uncertainty in Iraq and Iran, and you may have had your own personal disasters.
So what we're saying right now is don't stay on the worry-go-round. Linda Fostek has some very practical tips to help you deal with the hard times, and because she is also the founder of the Crisis Planner. Linda, welcome to Great Day.
It's great to be here. You know, 3 years ago, I couldn't have imagined me being here on the couch with you guys.
Really? How did you become a crisis planner? How did this?
Well, unfortunately, my beautiful 6'8" fireman hunk husband unexpectedly died.
Oh my God.
And I was left to
so
pick up the
sorry.
pieces.
Yeah.
And, you know, crisis can happen to any one of us, anytime, anywhere in the world. And as a result of that, I actually became an expert in crisis planning.
Wow.
And, you know, I wrote my book, And Now What? And, you know, it really has helped me come forward with my life.
Yeah.
You know, there's 5 mistakes that people make in planning for a crisis. And the first one I like to call the Captain America mistake. That's thinking you're invincible and nothing's ever going to happen to you, you know. The truth is, you never know when or what is going to actually happen to you in life.
Right.
The second mistake I call the black cat syndrome. And that's people who think that if I make a plan, I'm jinxing myself and bad things are going to happen. Well, bad things are going to happen no matter what. And it's better to be planned, right?
Part of life. It's going to happen. Yeah.
Then there's a Mr. Know-it-all. I've got everything covered and nothing, you know, I don't need any help. And sometimes it could be the smallest thing that you didn't plan for that actually unravels everything in your life. The fourth mistake is really what I call the Howard Hughes horror. And you know, he died without a will in place. And literally it was decades before they settled his estate with his family. And the fifth mistake I call the Irishman. You know, the new Scorsese movie with De Niro and Pacino.
It's excellent. Yeah.
Well, basically, you know, they're still looking for Jimmy Hoffa's body 50 years later. If you don't tell your family what you have and where to find it, they may never find where your bodies are buried.
So you talk about planning. How do we plan? Where do we start?
Well, now that you know the mistakes to avoid, it's really, really simple to create a plan.
Okay.
And there's just 4 things you have to do. First, you have to take an inventory of everything you have. You might be surprised, you know, you have your will, you have your insurance policies, you have your banking statements. You know, those are some simple things that are pretty obvious. But in my book, I actually list over 60 different items that you need to consider to
have
create your
collected?
plan.
Oh, wow.
So that's why that Mr. Know-it-all could really be in trouble,
Yeah.
you know?
All right, so you've got the inventory. What
And,
else?
and then you fill in the missing pieces. And then you're going to actually put everything together in one place. You know, I recommend either a fireproof safe or a watertight box that you can actually put everything in one place that you can either use it yourself when you need it in an emergency, say you have to evacuate for a flood, or your family is going to be able to find it because all they have to do is look in the box.
Yeah.
You know?
What's that fourth tip as well?
And then the fourth and final piece is really communicate with your family what you already have in place and where to find the box. Because if they know where everything is, they're not going to be like looking for Jimmy Hoffa's body, which they may, you know, and in this case, they don't even know what they're looking for, so they may never find it.
Yeah.
You know.
Linda, we want to mention your book one last time and where people can get it and get you.
Okay, well, the book is in Now What, and they can get that at www.thecrisisplanner.com.
Perfect.
And now that you know the mistakes to avoid and how, you know, things to
Start
do,
planning.
Yeah.
you know.
Thank you, Linda. We appreciate it.